All right, and good evening, everybody, from Dover High School, the 302 Sports Spotlight Game of the Week. Dover and Polytech, a Kent County battle. Sorry, we're a little late tonight. We had some internet issues. That always seems to be the case. Mike Lang and Benny Pinella. Jason Winchell producing, and Len Evans doing everything, basically. Benny, a fast start for Dover. We have 4:56 to go, and they're already in the lead, 14-0. So Polytech coming in at 5-2 already has a hill to climb.
Yeah, this does not look good early for the Panthers. They have to kind of collect themselves a little bit. I will say this, though. We are early in the first. Historically, Dover has been able to dominate these battles. Mentioned it on 302 Sports Weekly this past week, how Dover has pitched two consecutive shutouts against the Panthers. Polytech needs to kind of break that. They're on an 8-quarter streak where they have not scored against the Senators. Right now, it looks like they're driving a little bit. However, a penalty brought them all the way back to the 40. They're at like a first, and this looks like forever.
It says 1st and 24 on the board. Dover, just to bring everybody up to speed, Dover scored on the opening kickoff. Javon Peace went 90, we'll call it 94 yards for a touchdown. Peace scored again when Dover got the ball back on about a 17-yard run around the left end, untouched into the end zone, and it is 14-0 Senators. A nice crowd on hand on the Dover side. It's homecoming here for the Senators. And Benny, I want to thank the class of 2020 from Dover High School. They were handing out hot dogs and chips and water at the front gate, and I took advantage of that. And, thank you, everybody from Dover's class of 2020. By my math, that makes them the sophomore class.
Yes.
And they did. They made me not hungry anymore. So, and that's
tummy.
always the important thing. We drove down from Claymont today. Jason and I stopped at St. George's to watch a little St. George's soccer. So, it took us a while to get here, but we're glad to be here, and we are ready to go. Polytech being quarterbacked by number 12, Vincent Tassione. No, this is number 6, Tucker Reed. He rolls right and keeps it around the right side, and he gets about half of these yards back. It'll be 2nd and I think about 12. Let's see where they mark it.
That was a big run. They needed that, some kind of momentum. Looks like it's going to be a 2nd and 15.
15, so we got 9 of those yards.
Still, they needed something. Again, so far, Polytech right now, they've been kind of beating themselves up early on in this game.
Well, they went backwards on their first drive. They ended up with a 3rd and 30, I believe, something like that.
And in games like this, you can't really do that, especially when your team has momentum. You're a 1 win away from the best record your team's had. I understand it's a daunting task and something that's definitely in the back of your mind, but that can't be what's on your mind. You got to be thinking about winning this game right now, not the season.
Yeah, this is a big rivalry game. These schools not too far apart. This is Tassione. He's looking left, and he's got it. Didn't see the number of that truck. That is number 23, Colin Jacks for Polytech. I checked these names yesterday to make sure that I didn't mess anybody up, and I somehow missed that one. And good, there's 2 of them on the team. Jaksch. So,
gotta love your fun names.
Yeah, we're not gonna hope not to mess them up. Benny, you mentioned the weekly show. And we want to thank, again, Dover and Polytech coaches and players for coming up, driving from Kent County up to Newark, the Hooters, to be a part of the show on Wednesday night. It really adds to our show when we get the teams in live. So if we invite you, please come.
Yeah, some great stuff there as well. We talked to the Dover coach, Rudy Simonetti. Got to speak to Kevin Smith as well from Polytech. 2 great guys.
Tassione back, looking for a number 15, Douglas Reed. And is incomplete. That'll bring up a 4th and 11. We'll see if Polytech looks like they're bringing the punt team in.
Yeah.
And Dover's offense will go back to work. Maybe. But I think they'll punt.
Yeah, I think punting here is the smart decision. Early in the game, I understand you're frustrated. Early on, you thought you were going to be able to get some kind of lead or not be down 2 scores. But right now, you just got to think about field position.
We have 3:42 to go in the first quarter. Once again, joined you a little late, but we're here. And it's a left-footed punt to Peace. That is not Peace. He escapes the tackle. That's number 2, Gabriel Evans. He's down the right side. Cannot get away from the tackle of, who is that? Number 8, Christopher Gordon is able to hang on as Evans looked like he might break one, but
Evans looked like Peace there. That was a great return, a good punt return for the Senators team. It really needs it, especially in these rivalry games. You come in thinking record, matchups. You kind of throw that out when you're in big-time rivalry games, and right now it looks like Dover just has all the momentum behind him.
Dover's quarterback, the junior Jordan McGee, he missed a game at the beginning of the year when they lost to Archmere, but he's been back since. McGee, the lefty, is in the shotgun. That looks like an audible. Yes, he plays a multiple sport athlete. And he hands off, no, fakes the piece and goes over the head of his intended receiver, Eden Davis, and they'll make it 2nd and 10.
Well, you said McGee's battling injuries. That right there is the byproduct of not being able to play. Sometimes you're just a little out of sync.
And for those of you who have not been to Dover, I have been to Dover High School, but I've not seen the football. This is my first time here. This is beautiful.
It's like immaculate.
This is, I know their gym is like a college gymnasium, and it, you know, they rebuilt the high school, or built a new high school a few years ago, and they really did a great job down here. Outstanding looking facilities.
And I was pulling up to the high school, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, it looks like a college campus. It does. McGee hands off the piece. He's up the middle, gets behind his blockers, and a couple of Panthers have him. And he's still up. He's still going. He's out to about the 49 of the Senators. Bring up about a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, somewhere around there.
At the risk of making a cheesy joke, he runs with purpose. I don't know. I'm trying to work his last name into that one, but now Peace is running with some kind of I don't know, like a relentless mentality. He wants to destroy people when he gets the ball. You saw it on that run.
He's only a sophomore. Only a sophomore. So Henlopen North, you'll be seeing him for the next few years. Just when you got rid of Will Knight. It's a direct snap to Peace. Excuse me, over up the middle. Oh, he's hit pretty good. Stopped short of the 1st down.
Could you call that a peacekeeper?
That could be a peacekeeper, Benny. That's a good one. I'm impressed.
I'm good at making the quick, witty ones sometimes.
You're looking sharp, Benny.
Oh, thank you.
Argyle sweater and a nice tie.
I
dressed up as I have a golf shirt on and my nice shorts. They're a little long. That's a problem.
I will say, as the day went on, I definitely would have opted to go with shorts.
So does it 4th and 1. Dover's going to keep it while they're moving everybody around. An off-balance line. Peace by himself in the backfield. He's running left. Cuts it back right, and he's got a lane. And that's going to be a 1st down, a little more, over the 40 to the 35. And he goes out of bounds. 1st down, Senators at the 35-yard line.
You got to be kidding me. He had nothing on that play. That was unbelievable. Polytech had that play sought right out. Both defensive ends pinched on that. We're in the backfield. Peace was staring at a Polytech player right in his number and was still able to get 10 yards and a 1st down. That's impressive, Mike.
That was a good run by Peace. And he was the only one back there, so you knew who was taking the ball. There was no surprise on that. Now McGee is back there. And McGee, he's not a lefty, he's a righty. How did I get that wrong? He goes to the left side, intended for Evans, and it falls to the ground, incomplete. Dover is 1-6 on the season, a disappointing year for the Senators. Their 1 win over Concord. And Polytech, as we mentioned, is 5-2. One of their better records in the last, maybe ever, several years.
I want to talk about Polytech a little later, but you mentioned Dover being 1-6. They easily could be 3-4. A couple of those games coming within 1 score. Very tough Dover team. And we mentioned it, their star quarterback was not playing the majority of the season.
Here's the handoff, and he is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a loss of about 5 on the play, and that was number 8, Marquise McCove, a junior. And he never got anywhere. That Polytech front line got through there. Number 76, big boy out there.
Well, Polytech, they've been able to have their successful season being 5-2, thanks in large part to their defense. Their defense has played very well. Offense has been able to keep up with other very good offenses in the Henlopen North, and that's why they've been able to work their way into a 5-2 record. Their best record and best start in team history.
Here's the handoff to Peace around the left side. He's got another lane. He's broken free. He's across the 1st down marker. 10-5. Touchdown, Javon Peace. And the Senators go up 20-0. 53.2 seconds ago in the 1st quarter. A commanding lead for the hosts. It's 20-0, and they'll be trying the extra point. And Benny, we didn't expect this.
No, we didn't. I mean, if you looked on paper and looked at the record of these two teams, you would have thought it would be the other way around. You thought Polytech, the Panthers, would have a 21-0 lead. But no, the Senators, they're a very talented team. I talked about it on 302 Sports Weekly. This is a team that's the record doesn't reflect the talent of the roster.
Oh, that's me. I hear myself in the background. That kick is up and good. It is 21-0 Dover. And Benny, I mentioned the big line from the Panthers. You may see number 76 for Polytech. Nathaniel Thomas, the senior, 6'1", 330. So he takes up a lot of space in the middle of that line. And also they have a 320-pound classmate, Michael Gregory, number 77. So those guys take up some space out there.
I saw Gregory walking in. He's a large individual, to say the least.
So it is 21-0. 53 seconds to go on the 302sports.com Spotlight Game of the Week. And while we have it, so I would just get ready for the kickoff. We'll give you some of the upcoming stuff after our commercial break at the end of the quarter, so we can figure out what we're doing. Number 34 for Dover about to kick off. That is Shamir Nelson. Puts it up end over end to the 12-yard line. It is taken there by Gordon, and he's out to about the 26, and that is where the Panthers will go back to work. 47 seconds to go in this first quarter.
Well, I know it's a little early. You don't want to completely abandon the run, but down 3 scores, you got to collect yourself and maybe start to think about possibly trying to stretch the field. They tried it down the sidelines on the last drive, but maybe you work towards the middle a little bit, trying to give that safety a little bit of a work.
So Polytech getting the play on the sideline, and here they come.
You weren't kidding about Gregory.
There's 77, Gregory. He's playing left tackle.
He's a big boy.
So Tassion's blind side protected by Michael Gregory. He's all by himself in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right. Handoff to number 1, A.J. Foster. And he is tackled for probably a loss of 1. 2nd and 11.
They tried an end around there, and I mean, I'm not going to fault the play calling there, but the execution maybe could have been done a little better. Dover's a quick defense, very quick. Kevin Smith, the head coach of Polytech, was talking about it this week during 302 Sports Weekly. They're a very quick team. They can really get after the ball carrier almost immediately, which is why you got to run plays that are going to develop just as quick. If you run those long plays, Dover will be able to catch up to it, and that time they did in the backfield.
It is 2nd and 11. Last play of the first quarter. Tassion, he's got a man open. That's number 6, Tucker Reed. Reed has a first down at the 38-yard line. That's 1.4 seconds to go in the first quarter. How wrong I was. Thought it was the last play, but Reed, first down stops the clock, and he stepped out of bounds, so that'll keep. We almost had the. We almost went to 0 here.
Got to credit our clock operator, Jason Winchell, that time, getting it right to the second.
He's right on there, yeah. I can't produce like Winch. No way. So this, I'm pretty sure, will be the last play of the first quarter. Dover's got some safeties dropping deep, and it's a run play off left tackle. That's not bad, about 6 yards on that one. Right at the 50-yard line. It makes it very easy to switch ends of the field. So after 1 quarter of play, it's been all Dover. 21-0 on the 302 Sports Spotlight Game of the Week from Kent County. And we're going to be back right after this. are back for the beginning of quarter number 2. Why is Polytech going the same direction?
Got to fix that.
They are on the 40, which is where they were, but they're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you are.
So they went from their own 40 to the Dover 40. I don't know what's going on.
And the run wasn't that far.
Nobody seems to be. There was none time. So there was 0. One of these days is going to be the last play of this quarter.
This is unbelievable, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to go home now. Jason, I have your keys. I'll see you back in Claymont. All right, 0 seconds left on the clock. 1st and 5 from the Dover 35. Polytech in business now. Tassione quickly outside. He's got a receiver, and it looks like it'll be a first down for the Panthers. And we're going to keep it here, but I think that is the end of the first quarter. Jason, they confused all of us. I didn't see any flags out there to end that.
Neither did I.
There was 1.4 seconds left. How could there, whatever.
Everyone just kind of assumed it was the end of the quarter. And
Yeah, well, he got me. So tomorrow, Benny Mitchell,
yes.
our usual downstate guy who's somewhere working tonight. Caesar Rodney and Brandywine, but you want to keep it here with us, is going to be at Sussex Central tomorrow for Cape Henlopen and the Golden Knights. I wanted to say Golden Knights, and they are having a pretty good year, those Golden Knights.
Yeah, a lot of teams in Delaware this year having very impressive seasons so far. Sussex Central, one of them. Cape Henlopen, another great team. 2 meet like that, that's a heck of a game we're going to bring to you.
Yeah, we're still working on our, of course we have the 302 Sports Weekly every Wednesday at 7 from Hooters of Newark with top 10s, interviews, plays of the week, athletes of the week. Benny and Pat Garrianis running the circus up there, and a lot of good food and good times and a lot of laughs. And so if you get a chance to come out live to Hooters of Newark, do it. If not, tune in on 302sports.com. Benny, how much fun has that show been for you so far?
It's a lot of fun to do the show. I'm very grateful for Nick Halliday for bringing me on. More importantly, though, we get in-depth information from Spotlight Game of the Weeks like this. We got to sit down with Polytech. We got a player. We got Zion Downing as
that didn't go anywhere, did it?
Not exactly.
I think you lost 2 on that one. That looked like Tucker. But so, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We get to talk to the head coaches and, of course, some players. For Dover, we had Austin Fields Hatton, and we had a Polytech player named Zion Downing, which was a lot of fun to talk to those guys. Very great seniors from both teams.
And we are still working on our football spotlight game next Friday. There's a big one going on, but we're going to have to confirm everything before we get it out there. Everybody knows what's on the schedule next Friday. No secret, and we hope to be there. But we don't want to mention it until the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. So.
Oh, Jason.
I lost it.
And Woodbridge beating St. Mark's 35-0.
Hey, you can have that back.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, Woodbridge is handing it to the Spartans, who've seemed to have lost their way a little bit. Well, they faced that Karan Aline last Saturday night, and he was unbelievable. Although Javon Peace already has 3 touchdowns tonight through 1 quarter.
Yeah, there's talent up and down the state.
So everybody thought we can breathe easier because Bull Knight's graduating. Coron Aline will be a senior next year. Javon Peace will be a junior. We have other talented kids. If I went up and down the state, you probably could find them.
Lazy Adams seems to find like 9 of them every year.
So it is a 3rd and 12 for Polytech. Tassione in the backfield all by himself. Number 3, Donnell Hooker in motion. He swings it out to Hooker on the screen. Looking for some room on the outside, but he is corralled and brought down by Dover number 28. Is it 22? I thought it was 22. I lost track of who made that. It was 28. That is Rayshawn Alexander. Sometimes I have to watch these guys as they walk across the field. Should just bring binoculars with
Now
me.
here's an interesting decision, Mike. It looks like Polytech's going to go for it.
Yeah, I agree with this one. They're on the 29-yard line at Dover, and they're down 3 scores. A punt's not going to get them that many positive yards. Score in from Westminster, Maryland. Salesianum trails Westminster 14-7. Garrett Million scores a touchdown. He had a couple last week. And here's a pass for number 6. And there's going to be no flag on that play. That was intended for Tucker Reed, incomplete around the 5. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. There was some contact. Referees judge that to be incidental. No harm, no foul. And it is Senators football. 10:08 to go in the second quarter.
I don't fault the play calling there at all. You're kind of in the dead zone, as they like to call it. Too far to punt, too close for the field, or too far for the field goal, too far for the punt, or too close to the punt as well. And Polytech, they tried a deep pass. Dover's got that snuffed out, especially when you try to go down the sidelines or hook it in like that. You need to run 2 flies and try to see if they can't separate the safeties and get someone down the middle.
Oh, I thought they were announcing somebody's car was parked. I'd be like, hey, Benny, hold on to this for a minute. I got to go.
I got to say, looking at the stands, you wouldn't expect Dover to be 1-6.
No, they get it's a pretty darn good support out here for a 1-6 team. So Peace gets it, maybe a yard, called 2nd and 9. You know, there are quite a few high schools in the area. CR is right down the street. Polytech, the Votech school in this area of the state, is about, 10 minutes away, probably 15 minutes away, not far at all, down closer to, it's in Woodside, close to Magnolia. So there are, and the Smyrna is not too far to the north, about 15, 20 minutes north of here. So a lot of quality education options in the area, but they are proud of their Senators here in Dover.
Oh, yes. Quality education, quality football as well.
Davis in motion. Back to McGee. He's looking for Peace. He's got him open just a little too much on that throw, and he'd have been gone if he caught it.
Ooh. I was going to say McGee had him there, only a couple of steps.
3rd and 9.
Ahead of Peace was the ball. That's a great play right there. You kind of, brought the defense in a bit with the runs up the middle. We've seen that a ton so far with Peace. And then you try to spread them out, hit them on the flies like that. That's what you got to do to kind of work these defenses in and out and get them to stretch the field.
So Dover facing its longest 3rd down conversion so far, 3rd and 9. They're at their own 30. McGee in the shotgun, hands off the face to Peace, sends it out to Davis. Pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9, and on comes the punt team for the Blue.
That's a big stop there for Polytech. You're down 21-0. You've been able now to stop the Senators on back-to-back drives, and you might get the ball in some decent field position. I mean, let's face it, we're at high school level. Very rarely do punters get it all the way down to the 10 or past the 20-yard line. So Polytech has a chance here. If they can corral themselves offensively, they can get on the board.
Yeah, not too many Cooper Urbans in this state.
No. Watch that kid punt against Middletown. He's impressive.
And that, you mentioned, Benny, there's a short punt. It's going to land around midfield. Takes a nice Dover bounce on, rolls across the 40 down to the 37, and that's where Polytech will take over with 9:02 to go in the second quarter. 21-0 Senators from a seasonable Dover, Delaware. Not too cold.
No.
Certainly not warm, but it's not really that bad outside.
I believe they call it sweater weather.
Sweater weather, and you see some people, I don't know who, some people in shorts.
Cough, cough, Mike?
Yeah, that'd be, yeah. You know, it was nice out today.
It was very nice out today.
Stopped by St. George's and watched a little St. George's Concord soccer. St. George's comfortably ahead in that one when we left. It was 5-2-0 Hawks. They should be in the state tournament. We're getting to that time of year. I believe on the weekly next week we'll talk more postseason as we are getting to that time. But right now it's football. Tassione in the backfield. Hands off to number 3, Hooker, and he doesn't get much, if anything.
There's the speed of that Dover defense. We talked about it again on 302 Sports Weekly and in the build-up for this game. They're just so quick, and you saw it right there, getting off the ball. They're explosive. They get into the backfield, and once they get into the backfield, they can wreak havoc on teams. Not always is a team going to be able to match them up in terms of speed on the line. You saw
that was a loss of 1, so you mentioned not abandoning the running game, but they're really not getting anything on that run right now.
Now, if you're going to run the ball against Dover, you got to do power runs. Their line's not exactly the biggest in the state, so you get the size advantage between the center and guard. Take advantage of it.
looking left, sends it over to, I don't know who's that, Tucker Reed maybe. He looks like he's close to a first down. For Polytech, that was number 22, not Tucker Reed, Trenton. Of course, Trent Jacks, a freshman. Jakish. I just heard it by the PA announcer said Jakish. I'm going with Jakish. My apologies to Mr. and Mrs. Jakish and the entire Jakish community for getting that name incorrect.
Entire Jakish community. Well, you saw Polytech right there take advantage of Dover. They were sitting in zone, just able to get that route running right in front of the first down. Now this is a favorable first down for Polytech, and looks like they're gonna run it out of the eye.
So they picked up 10 on that one. 3rd and 1. They do go to the back running back, but he kind of bumps into Tassione and loses 2 yards. It will be 4th and about 3. Long 3, short 4.
You did not need that if you're Polytech.
Nah,
That
they
was
kind
an
of bumped
opportunity.
into each other, and that killed that play.
Killed the play in the drive subsequently. Mike, you can't have plays like that if you're Polytech. You're trailing by 3 scores. Now's your chance. Now that was their chance to make some headway, drive the ball a little bit.
Not 8 games into the season. This is not, there should be some
miscommunication
chemistry
like
there.
That, yeah.
But we don't like to criticize their kids. So, but hey, they made it was the play was broken. So
hey, mistakes happen. I understand.
Yeah.
Looks like
They're going for it on 4th and 3. It is listed as 4th and 3. He's back to pass. Blitz is on. He gets a screen to number 25. That's Matthew Chadwick, and he's got the first down for the Panthers.
That was a tight end screen. Talk about pulling one out of the playbook there. That's a spectacular play call and spectacular execution. You mentioned you had the miscue on the play before with the running back bumping into the quarterback, but what a great play call there. The line sold it. Let the rushers go right through, set the tight end up, get blockers in front of him. He gets a big gain right there and a big play for Polytech.
You are correct. They needed that first down, and we have a timeout for the Senators. So with 6:28 to go, we're going to take a bit of a break. Benny, we mentioned postseason coming up, and we did Ursuline paddle volleyball last night from Ursuline, and Jason and I. Just a playoff atmosphere inside the Ursuline gym. I'm sure you've been there for basketball or some other events, and it's what an atmosphere. It was sold out. It was loud. There were a lot of Ursuline girls right next to our 302 Sports location, so a little bit of hearing loss going on. The girls are great, though, and they are – most of the games are tonight. The last games, there's one game tomorrow, Ursuline and St. Mark's, to wrap up the regular season. Seedings will come out Sunday. Padua is going to be – I'm going to say this – Padua is going to be your number 1 seed. And Tower Hill, unless frogs fall from the sky, Tower Hill is going to be the number 2 seed. And after that, it's a little bit tricky between Ursuline, St. Mark's, and Delmarva Christian. Really looking at 3, 4, 5 there.
Yeah, Delmarva Christian's a team that seldomly gets brought up, but a dominant volleyball program they have.
Yeah, they've had a good several campaigns. This year they were 14-1, and
wow,
they played some decent teams. They didn't play the total cupcake schedule, so this is a handoff to Foster around the right side. He's up to the 40. Some positive yards there for A.J. Foster. He gets about 8 on that one, make it 2nd and 2.
Up and flipped up. That was a tough hit he took. But a great pull, again, a smart play call for Kevin Smith. Right now, Polytech, they haven't been able to run it up the middle effectively enough. The long running plays are developing up the middle, not working for Polytech. Stretch it out. The corners, get the block on the wide receiver, and you can swing those other wide receivers out on the ends around. That was a smart play call for the Panthers.
So Tassione by himself in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers split left, 2 on the right side. Foster in motion. He's looking for him for the screen. Oh, passes in front of him, and he caught the ball, and that's going to cost him some yards. So if it had fallen to the ground, it would have been incomplete, but that is a complete pass that they lost of 5 yards and make it 3rd and about 7.
That's one of those where you, as a coach, you can't fault the player because the play's designed for them to catch the ball, but not specifically in that area. He slipped, unfortunately. There is turf here, and it is the fall, so, when you wake up in the morning, there's some, condensation on the grounds. But I was approaching the field as I walked in. It looks pretty dry. It just might have been getting his feet a little too far in front of him.
3rd and long. We're getting 7 yards here for the first down. Tassione back, looking right. And he's looking, he had Jakish open, Colin Jakish. and could not connect. That was a well-designed play, just they didn't execute, and that'll bring up 4th and 7 from the 46-yard line of Dover. 4:53 to go until halftime on the 302 Sports Spotlight game of the week. Glad you could join us here this evening. And took us just a little bit longer than we anticipated to get started, but we're here now and we're not going anywhere. And it's a pleasure to visit the capital city.
Great game.
They have lined up for a punt. Oh, high snap for Tucker Reed, and he barely gets that one off. I think it was deflected, and I think he got negative yards on that punt. It rolls back to the Polytech 48. The line of scrimmage was the Dover 46. So that's a net of negative 6 yards on that punt. He just got a bad bounce on that when it bounced and rolled. First off, the snap almost went over his head. He was able to get it off, and it rolled backwards, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where you look at that in the film session come Monday or Tuesday, you're just going to be shaking your head the entire time. Bad snap, punter had to rush. You can't really fault the punter on the punts.
Or the bounce.
Or
it's
the
not
bounce.
his fault.
It seems like how the game's gone so far, just bad bounces for Polytech.
That was literally a bad bounce.
Literally a bad bounce, Mike.
So McGee hands off to, guess who? Javon Peace almost breaks it. He gets down to about the 41-yard line at Polytech. We'll call it a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 for Javon Pierce. 1 or 2 steps from breaking another one.
The kid's having an unreal game. Peace is just tearing apart this defense. Credit the Dover line. They're giving him plenty of holes to get through, big holes as well. Polytech's got to rally defensively and start plugging those holes.
This is Peace around the right side. Oh, and this time Polytech almost gets him. He breaks the tackle, and he's free. Across the 30, down across the 20. Nobody's going to get him. 10-5, jumps into the end zone. Touchdown, Javon Peace. And we thought he was down around the 40, but he was not down. 27-0 Senators. 4th touchdown of the evening for Javon Peace.
Well, what you saw right there, Javon Peace just taking over the game, taking over the play, and well, Dover's got themselves a star in Javon Peace. We always talk about McGee. A lot of the hype around Dover this season was their quarterback, but their running back is just as powerful, just as impressive. Peace right there, bouncing it to the outside, finds the lane, and then no Panthers are able to catch him. He's got the speed that is just unbelievable.
Shook a tackle around the 40, and nobody got him after that. So Derek Halleck is on for the extra point, and it is up and good. There's nobody back there to get that extra point. I'm just seeing like like some kid back there to catch him, but the ball will sit back there for days, weeks, who knows. Now here he goes to get the kicker. Has to go get his own kick.
Oh, you gotta love that.
Wow.
That doesn't say high school football.
No respect for the guy.
No, there's plenty of kids in the crowd. That's what I'm going to say. This is a very impressive crowd.
That's a good-sized crowd here.
Mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, Mike, that 1-6 team is what Dover is right now. That's the record. Past couple of seasons have been kind of frustrating. 3-7 last year, and the year before they struggled as well. As a matter of fact, since their last winning season, which was the 2013-2014 season, they've been 11-26. That's over 4 years. Their best record in that span was in the 2015-2016 season when they were 4-6. So winning has kind of fallen off for Dover since they last played against Salesianum, losing 41-35 in the semis.
Now, do you know how long the coach has been here, Simonetti? This is his first year?
Simonetti, this is his first year.
First year. I knew that they've had some coaching changes here at Dover.
I will say Simonetti is a great head coach, and he's a guy that can really turn around the Senators.
So here's a kickoff back to about the 10-yard line. Across the 20, but tripped up. That is number 15 for Polytech, Douglas Reed. He brings us back to the 15. 4 minutes even to go. 4 minutes even to go in the first half.
So right now, if you're Polytech, I think the name of the game is scoring as quick as you possibly can. This is where you dig deep into the playbook and you pull out those plays that are going to get you guaranteed yardage.
So they trail 28-0. We still have 4 minutes to go. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. The Panthers at 5-2. They're coming off a loss last week.
Mm-hmm.
But their best start in many seasons, as Benny can tell you, at some point today. Here's another pass, but it looks like maybe they got their signals crossed. Receiver looked like he cut to the outside, and the ball was thrown more of a post pattern. Make it 2nd and 10.
As Polytech, this is a program that traditionally is not known for football. I mean, let's face the facts here. Polytech has not had a winning season in the history of their team. I mean, last decade, their best record was 5-5. That was under head coach Kevin Smith. He leaves, becomes the athletic director. A couple of seasons go by. As a matter of fact, in 2 seasons, Polytech was 1-19. Comes back to helm the Panthers once again.
There's a handoff to number 6, Tucker Reed. That was number 3. I'm sorry, that is Donnell Hooker. He loses 2 yards. Loss of 1, so it's 3rd and 11.
But as I mentioned, talking about Polytech, the last time they beat Dover was 2014. They would go 4-6 that year. That game was the Panthers' last win until September 23rd, a 20-15 win over Del Castle. That snapped a 13-game losing streak. Again, this program traditionally has not played at a high enough level to compete in the state of Delaware. But this year, Kevin Smith has returned to the sidelines, and he's got this team believing in themselves, and you're seeing that right now.
There's Tucker Reed on the outside. Brett Stewart 1 tackle, 2 tackles before he is finally brought down by Dover's number 64, and that is Holden Vidrine, a sophomore. Make it 4th and 3 from the 30. 2:54 and running. Yeah, they lost last week to Sussex Central, and that's a pretty good team. Their other loss the first week of the season to surprising AI DuPont.
Yes. Both
AI
teams 6-1.
AI suffered their first loss last week to Howard. Howard, always better than people seem to think.
Yes.
Won the state championship 2 seasons ago.
Howard's a very, very good team, but I also want to point out, people, whenever you talk about Polytech, people are always going to point out the losing. I always want to look at the losses. And this year, of course, they've had 2 against really good teams. Who they've beaten as well. They beat Cape Henlopen.
That's right.
13-10. That's an impressive victory for a team that's being able to take that turn. This year, they've had the longest winning streak in team history in the past decade. 5 games. It's an impressive team they've been able to put together, and one that, again, talking to Kevin Smith, they believe in themselves. They believe they can win, which is why that score says 28-0. But it is a tale of 2 halves, I feel like, with this game.
They also beat so halftime score, Appoquinimink and Concord tied at 7. And Woodbridge has a running clock on St. Mark's. And 17-7, Westminster leads Salesianum. We mentioned their wins. They also beat Milford, and Milford beat Woodbridge this season.
Yes.
So a nice win. Milford is always a upper echelon Division II program. As we have 4th and 3, and they do have Tucker Reed back to punt. Better snap, and he gets his foot into this one. Nice. That's a pretty darn good punt there. Taken by Evans around the 42-yard line.
Called for a fair catch.
He caught it around the 38-yard line. And that's where Dover will take over with 2.5 to go here in the 2nd quarter. It's kind of a quiet week in high school football, it seems like, for Delaware. St. Mark's Woodbridge, one of the higher profile games.
A lot of people have their eyes on the Westminster Salesianum game, and that's a big game because Salesianum likes to put themselves up against the best of the best out of state, and Westminster's a very, very good football program.
Yeah, they are.
So it'll be interesting to see what the gentlemen of Salesianum can do against Westminster, Pennsylvania.
Sometimes, not so much much lately, but in traditionally over the years, Salesianum has had trouble finding enough teams from Delaware that are willing to schedule them. So a lot of times they have to go out of state to get these programs. And we saw Middletown last week go to Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, and win. And because Flight A has one less team than it has in the past, Middletown had an opening on their schedule and was able to challenge themselves against somebody that normally they wouldn't play.
And win or lose, I like the scheduling of that game because Middletown, I believe, is a team that nationally could rank. I mean, they are a very, very good program.
It's tough to rank, though, when all you play are in-state teams, and they were locked into so many Flight A games.
Yes.
So McGee takes it. He's back. He's being chased, and down he goes.
There you go.
That's a sack for Polytech. Number 8, Christopher Gordon, gets to him. And that is a big loss of about 9 yards on the play. Make it 2nd and 19, and maybe that is the spark that Polytech needs.
Yeah, I think that was the kind of play that brings me back to my original point. Kevin Smith has this Panthers team believing in themselves. And right there, you see, you're down 28-0. At this point, most teams, you could argue players start to think the game over a little too much in their heads. Right there, you saw the Panthers are still fighting for this. Why? What's on the line? Well, besides for just rival pride, last time the Panthers scored against Dover was 2014. That's also the last Polytech win over them. Yeah, back-to-back shutouts. As a matter of fact, you want to look at scoring between these two teams. In this rivalry, going into this game, 202 points have been scored. Now a total of 230 points have been scored. 162 going to this one have been scored by Dover, only 40 by Polytech. Polytech has something to play for because Dover's kind of been the big brother for so long. Polytech always the little brother, but we know that little brother, big brother mentality. At some point, the little brother is going to get one over on the big brother.
So we are 2:03. I thought Jason was getting cold, but he's all right. Oh. So we have Mike Lang, Benny Pinella, Jason Winchell on the board, and Len Evans supposed to be upstairs, but he's here with us. Bringing you tonight's Sports Spotlight Game of the Week. And it wouldn't be a 302 production if we didn't have to rush things up there at the end. But we got on because Len Evans figures everything out. The man's a technological genius.
Oh, look at this run. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, he breaks it, and there goes Peace. Across the 50, breaks the tackle down to the Polytech 42, and there's that man again, number 1. We saw number 1 last week, Saturday night, and number 1 today, Javon Peace.
Well, his name is Javon Peace. He certainly doesn't bring it. He has been wreaking havoc on this Panthers defense all game long. You saw it there, just tearing them apart. But he's getting to run through holes the size of the tractor trailers, Mike. He has been able to get very, very, very good execution from his line.
McGee back to pass. He's being chased by 2 Panthers. He fumbles. He falls in the mound. It's loose, and I believe Dover has recovered. It will stay with the Senators. Loss of about 6 yards on the play, 2nd and 16. But
that's a sweet save for the Senators. Your team has momentum. If you gave it up right there, Polytech gets the momentum. And
timeout.
Easily could rally their own crowd and get some momentum swinging their way. That was good field position as well. So Dover lucky they were able to fall back on that. McGee lost it in transition when he was feeling the rush, stepped up into the pocket. It looks like it hit off his own leg. And then
like
went
he
in
was
front of him.
swinging
Yeah, like he was swinging it a little bit. You know, sometimes they teach you as a quarterback when you're feeling the pressure, step up. You want to kind of pull the ball into yourself or hold it up a little higher. That way, you know, usually they tackle around your hips. You hold it up a little higher or try to avoid hitting your leg because you can fumble that way.
He went right through the 2 defenders who were chasing him, and I think when he went through.
Oh, it was an impressive athletic play. I'm not going to take that away from him. But during the transition period, brought the ball literally hitting his hip and was able to, or accidentally fumbled, was able to fall on it though. Sweet save for the Senators.
So Salesianum was able to score in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. Zach went to Sean Regan, 15-yard touchdown, 17-13 at the half. Westminster leads that one. Delmar, 21, Laurel, 0. Benny, you probably didn't know that was the Lions Club trophy game. Come on, you can admit it.
Did not know that. And
this is another big loss. That time, Peace, they caught him, and they tackled him for a big loss. And they are out of time. It says they have time, but Polytech calls a timeout. I believe that is their final timeout. 1:15 to go.
And Polytech trying to get one more chance before the half to score. And they needed that play. They needed a big stop, and they got it. It's going to be third and, well, let's talk about third in a century. The Panthers, so far during this game, their defense hasn't been able to stop the big plays, and that's where they've been really getting shoot up is these big plays towards the outside. They got to tighten that up a little bit, make a halftime adjustment. But really, their defense has played stout. You take away a couple of these big plays, just the kickoff return, and they've been playing okay defensively so far.
Smyrna 22, Sussex Tech 8. That is about the middle of the second quarter. So just get through some of these scores here. Appo 7-7, we got you that one. Milford 42, Indian River 0. That was about 15 minutes ago. So we have some scores trickling in. Anybody at Newark and Middletown can send us a score. Put it on Twitter. We can get it out there. Yeah, John Busby, where are you?
I think he's calling the game.
Yeah, he could be listening to us. I doubt it. All right, no timeouts left for the Panthers. Dover has the ball on their own 47. It is 3rd and 20.
Another one of those crazy shifts for the Senators.
And it's a handoff to Peace. And this time he is tripped up. Nice play on the interior there. Not sure who got him. But he was unable to escape that time. One of the few times he is bottled up in the bell. That's two runs in a row where they really trapped him for no gain. So about 3 yards this time. And a loss of about 11 yards the last time. So,
yeah, Polytech being able to make some adjustments.
But with no timeouts, only 45 seconds ago, Dover will just let this clock run until they see the back judge waving at them. And he will tell them when they're 5 seconds. And you can see they're just standing there waiting. Oh, it's going to be, I thought he might fake the punt. Wow, that's a pretty nice punt over. Tucker Reed gets it down the left side and bucks a tackle. And the second, he's down to the left sideline, 30, 40. Oh, he runs over a Dover Senator, but is bounced out of bounds. And it will be 1st and 10 with 16 and a half seconds to go with the 40. Nice run back by Tucker Reed.
I don't even know where I'm going to start. I don't even know where I'm going to start with breaking that play down. First off, a brilliant punt. Stepping up. Originally he was going to kick it from the 35, took a 5-yard running start to it, kicked it from just about the 41, 42, which is going to give you more distance on the punt. Then for the punt returner, breaking 2 tackles and then truck sticking the kicker to get good field position out of bounds.
He knocked that guy right over. So we'll see if they can do anything in 16 seconds here. Tassione at his own 35. He looks like he's changing the call out there. 2 receivers on either side. 3 receivers right, 2 left. Quick screen cannot hold on, and it's 2nd and 10. It only took 3 seconds.
Well, if you're trying to score before halftime, it may not be the exact play you want to run. I think what Polytech's trying to do is they're trying to bring Dover's defense in a little bit and open up some of the zones deeper down the field. You're going to see maybe on this next play, they're going to try and spread the Senators out a little bit.
So they're going to have some work to do at halftime, making some adjustments to stop Peace. And just have not connected on the offense. It just seems like the passes have been a little off. So they got some work to do at halftime, Coach Smith and the Panthers. There's a nice run by Foster over left tackle. He gets a first down and more across midfield down to about the 41-yard line of Dover. It'll be a first down. Clock stops, 5.5 seconds to go. They do not have a timeout, so they're going to have to get ready to snap that ball, because once the ball's set, the referee will wind his clock. There he goes, 4 or 3. He does just that, Benny. And 3.2 seconds left. They will have 1 shot at the end zone here. I said that in the first quarter, and we had 3 plays to end the first quarter before that happened. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to get 1 shot at the end zone.
You know what they say about assuming?
Yeah, I'm there.
But no, interesting play call for Polytech running the football. I guess they were trying to catch Dover asleep, and it did. The Senators were not ready for that shotgun run. But
they do
right
have 7 guys back in their defensive backfield, so only 4 men down for Dover. So they are going to send everybody into the end zone. Back they go, the linebackers and the defensive backs. Tassione winds up and fires into the corner. He's got Tucker Reed there off his fingertips, and to the ground it goes, and that's going to do it for the first half. So from Dover High School, it's halftime. Senators 28, Panthers nothing. We'll be back right after this on the 302sports.com Spotlight Game of the Week.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create.
Welcome to Hooters. Have a seat wherever you like.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Solo Concepts is an award-winning restaurant group on the culinary coast with 10 locations. We're a chef-driven group. Come check us out. See you soon. Solo Concepts believes in the vision of our founder, Matt Haley, cook beautiful, simple food, develop the people we work with, and make the world a better place. Solo Concepts on the culinary coast with 10 locations from Lowest, Delaware to Fenwick Island. Come check us out.
And a stirring halftime performance at Dover High School. We're back with you, Mike Lang, Benny Pinella, Jason Winchell, and the man upstairs, not God, Len Evans. No offense, God, but
God's with us as well. Yeah.
28-0 Senators. Benny, what does Polytech need to do to get back into this one?
So early on in this game, they've made a lot of mistakes because all of Dover's scores have been on big plays. They haven't had one of those traditional drive them down the field and score on a 1-yard run. No, they've been scoring on 15-plus yard plays. Of course, they had the kickoff to start the game. They had a 15-yard run, and since then they've had a couple of very big runs by Javon Peace. I think the whole point for Polytech's halftime, I think, is how can we stop Javon Peace? I think it's very easy. You have to load the boxes up now. That's not necessarily a great decision, especially when you're trailing, because you're going to pull out some defensive backs, put them towards the line, and Dover can expose you there. But I think really the name of the game right now is to stop Javon Peace. He has been running roughshod over the Panthers. And, I mean, let's face it, the Panthers, they have to get back to playing with heart, okay? Because they've been playing with heart the entire game, but now's the real chance for them to open that heart up and score. Listen, the last time the Panthers scored against Dover, I was still in college. It was 2014, okay? 2014 is not too long ago. It's 3 years,
No,
but
it's
still,
not.
it's just to drive home the point.
You were
They have-
just a kid.
I was still just a kid, yes, Mike. But 43 to nothing victories later, and Dover's been really able to dominate the latter portion of this rivalry. I think what Polytech needs to do is rally around themselves. Zion Downing said it best. People don't think of Polytech as a football school. We can change that this year. That's what he said at 302 Sports Weekly, plugging that show once again. You can, of course, watch it live every Wednesday night at 7 and check it out on our YouTube channel. But I think Polytech needs to get back into believing themselves. They've done it all season long. And control Javon Peace. Maybe load the lineup a little bit. Spread it out, though, because the majority of Javon Peace's runs has not been between the guard and center. It's been outside the tackle or tackle and guard.
Yeah, he was impressive in that first half, starting with the opening kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
And that means Polytech's going to get the ball to start the second half,
Yes.
and they need to score. You know, they just can't. You don't want to be falling behind anymore, and you don't want to see that clock running down.
And they
Yep.
have proven, Mike, they can move the ball against Dover, which they've had very good drives. The problem is they hit that precipice of the drive where all of a sudden they just can't seem to put that one play together to get the first down, or put that one play together to get them into the red zone. They have a chance to do that now. I think they have momentum offensively. They've been able to prove they can move the ball. We saw the passes towards the end of the first quarter, got some synchronization going with their quarterback. I think this is going to be the quarter where Polytech can put something together.
Well, if you're a Panthers fan and they see them across the way here at Dover High School, you certainly hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, you mentioned the crowd tonight. It is homecoming here at Dover. I did not see who the winners were, but you mentioned an impressive crowd here at Dover High School, and they do not look like a 1-6 team tonight.
No, the crowds come out in full support of the Senators. Again, we talked about the Dover's record. A lot of that has to be attributed to the fact they've lost their quarterback, McGee, for the majority of the season, and he's, of course, kicking the ball off right here. They got him back, and now they look like they can put some stuff together.
So Polytech returns out across the 25 up to the 29, and the Panthers will start from their own 29-yard line. Vincent Tassione has been the quarterback thus far, and he's been not afraid to throw the ball. They just have not been able to connect. You mentioned the end of the first half, they did find some holes in the Dover defense and were able to do some things. And we'll see what kind of adjustments they made at halftime. Some of their offensive woes, I think, were just some miscommunication. So it wasn't Dover played well, but there was some things that Polytech can correct and make it work.
I will say this: Polytech has not turned the ball over, so they've been able to take care of the rock. Their issue is more of just getting things in sync offensively. I think they were a little bit stunned to see Dover take that big lead. Had a little, believe in themselves a little much, but they have a chance to change that right here.
So Tassione under center. He was not there much in the first half. Here's the pitch to Foster. He goes around the left end, throws out a stiff arm, but cannot turn the corner, and he's going to lose a couple of yards. We have a stoppage play. There is a flag down around the 27-yard line.
That looks like holding.
And that is the area of holding. And one of the officials has signaled it's against Polytech. Holding in high school, of course, is a spot foul, so we'll see where this is. How many yards this is going to cost them.
That's a big loss for Polytech.
Well, it looks like Dover's going to decline this penalty.
Why would they decline it?
Well, they did lose yards on the play. And it is second down, so the penalty indeed was declined. 2nd and 13.
What if it's a spot foul, you take the yards and you push Polytech back a little bit? That might be an act of mercy, though, from Dover.
Unless they just picked up the flag, but I saw one of the
I doubt they
referees
did,
signaling it as for a decline. this guy right here next to the Dover coaches.
Confusing decision, but I don't know.
So Tassione back in the shotgun. He's looking out and too short, looking for draw. That ball bounced up and nearly intercepted by Dover, and that would have been 6. It may be an interception. One of the referees is signaling Dover ball. We'll see what the man in the white hat says.
Oh, we don't have
first down, Dover.
That's unbelievable.
And that is intercepted by number 22, Nadim Bogarty.
I thought the ball hit the ground, but it didn't. It hit off of the Polytech receiver's hands and bounced up into the air. And Dover was able to make the interception. I don't know if that Dover defensive back even touched the Polytech player.
Now the referees are getting together because if the defender not touched the ground, as he was looking to go just walk into the end zone, why would you blow the play dead unless he was down?
He did. I think after the play, if we're playing it in my mind, the defender did hit the ground. We don't have the luxury of replay here, but we talked about Tassione being able to take care of the ball. Well, first interception for Polytech.
Here's a direct snap to Peace around the left side, and he is pushed out of bounds by number 34 for Polytech, and that is Montrell Jones. A pickup of about 4, 2nd and 6. We'll call it 2nd and 7 for the Senators. They are on the 24-yard line of Polytech. And of course, if they score here and convert the extra point, we'll go to the running clock, and that'll make things even tougher for the Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers will be playing against Father Time. But what you're seeing the Panthers do is they have brought more guys in and brought them closer to the line. You see the linebackers, they're not as far back as they are, and the safeties are coming closer to the line as well.
And now McGee moves over in the direct snap again to Peace. He's going to follow McGee around the right side. McGee throws a block. Flag is down, and so is Peace. So we're going to have a penalty. That is likely going to be a holding on Dover, but let's wait and see what the call is. You don't see your quarterback running out there leading the way too many times. It is a hold on Dover. So they must have some faith in McGee not to get himself injured out there.
Yeah, rarely do you see teams use the quarterback as the blocker. As a matter of fact, most of the time when the quarterback does give the ball to the running back, he is not anywhere near the play. But McGee, he's a football player. That's a lot of kids at this level in high school are football players. They want to play the game of football, and they don't want to be treated any differently.
Pushes Dover all the way back to the 41 of Polytech, making it 2nd. That's more than 17. 2nd and close to 20. Oh, here's a halfback option, and he is wide open. That's going to be a touchdown. Dover. That is number 3. Eaton Davis finds Gabriel Evans wide open. Touchdown, Senators. So that little halfback option thing just fooled Polytech, and Evans wide open for the reception and the touchdown.
At the risk of making a corny joke, Inspector Gadget there, that is the kind of trick plays that are going to just break defenses. And being that it's getting 34 and following the kick, could be 35-0. That was an impressive trick play for Dover.
Yeah, Derek Halleck on the point after. And this one is up and good, and that will trigger the running clock. 10:36 to go in the third. Should say a prayer for this fly here. Well, the clock is not running, but it will at some point. And it's 35-0 Dover, and they made quick work of that turnover, able to convert it into a touchdown. A nice play as we had Eaton Davis finding Gabriel Evans wide open for the touchdown pass.
Going back and looking through the series of plays there, go back to the holding penalty on Polytech that Dover declined. If you accept that penalty, you back Polytech up a little further. The interception goes to around the 20, 15-yard line, and of course maybe that trick play doesn't happen. I'm not saying hindsight 2020 or whatever, or Rudy Simonetti knows the future, but an interesting series of plays, the interception, of course, during the trick play and the points.
So Dover about to kick off. Shamir Nelson sends it to about the 12-yard line. Here come the Panthers left to right, wearing the white. And that, I believe, is Tucker Reed, number 6, gets up to the 34-yard line. We have a Dover player down.
2 of them.
2 players look like they ran into each other. Oh, they're both getting up, and that's good news for the Senators. Number 42 and number 29, Mackay Jarvis, I'm sorry, number 29, collided with Austin Fields Hatton, your guest on the 302 Sports Weekly. But both those fellas are up and walking a little gingerly, but they're walking off in their own power, so that's good to see.
Now the Panthers are playing against the running clock. It's a tough game for Polytech. This was a game that had a lot of emotion behind Polytech, being able to change the culture of football for the high school of Polytech, and it's not the result they wanted.
He's looking downfield, Tassione. He's got a receiver. I believe that is complete. It is. It'll be a first down in Dover territory at the 49, caught by number 2, DJ Raleigh.
So the win may be out of reach for Polytech, but they can break a different streak. As we talked about it, Dover has shut Polytech out in back-to-back games. Polytech looking for a score here, something to get on the board, something to swing momentum in the Panthers' way.
Tassione looking to pass again. He's got a swing pass out to number 3, Hooker. He splits 2 defenders and
what a move.
Gets up to the 47 of Polytech. I'm sorry, I had the lines mixed up. They were on their own 46, not on the Dover 49. So they pick up 2 yards on that play.
Impressive
and
move there
seconds,
for
1 yard, 2nd and 9.
That was an impressive move there for Hooker, stepping back, receiving the screen pass, being able to make the defender miss. And you got to like the feet of that young man.
Tassione looking downfield this time, and he's sending it deep down the left side, but it is incomplete. Too far for his receiver, looking for number 2, DJ Raleigh.
And Raleigh might have a point there. He looked at the ref and tugged at his jersey really quick. The defensive back for Dover did have his hand on the chest of Raleigh, which would be pass interference if you're holding a receiver back from getting to the ball, but you're not going to get that call when you're down by 35.
Nope, 3rd and 9 from the 47-yard line of Polytech. They've just not had any breaks tonight.
No. And you're going to have games like this. I've said it all week. Dover is a very, very tough team.
Tassione this time on the outside. He's got, see who that is, Tucker Reed. And I believe that is a first down for the Panthers. Nice play on the outside this time. Tucker Reed catches it. They are now in Dover territory on the 41-yard line of the Senators.
And Mike, to finish off my point, bringing up about Dover being a tough team, you put McGee in there for the majority of the games this season. He doesn't get injured. You're looking at a different team. You're looking at a 3-4 team, a team that is well on their way to going 4-4.
Oh, Tassione over the middle, incomplete. Did not know that it was intended for, but I know who hit him. That was Nadeem Bogarty, number 22. Laid the wood to, I believe that was Raleigh that took the abuse. And that was number 22. Trent Jakish took the abuse on that one.
And that's a big play for Dover's defense. Yeah, Polytech has been able to throw the ball, especially down the middle of this Dover team. That's kind of been where the soft spot has been. But a hit like that makes a receiver think twice.
And it was the ball had passed him, so that's a legal hit. It was 22 on 22 violence. Tassione down the right side. Oh, nice stretch by Tucker Reed. And he's got another first down, this time at the Dover 26. So they're moving, and that's a positive sign for the Panthers.
And Panthers playing a little pitch and catch. These receivers getting their work in. Very impressive set of hands for all these receivers for Polytech. They definitely have a very good passing game.
Tucker Reed able to stretch out and get that one as his hands were basically almost out of bounds on that one, but he landed inbounds. Quick pitch out to the left. Nice move by Raleigh. He escapes one tackler and gets down across the 20 to the 18-yard line. DJ Raleigh picks up about 7, make it 2nd and 3 on the Dover 18-yard line.
Makes you wonder where this kind of offense has been all day for Polytech.
So no huddle, as we would expect for Polytech. A new call coming in from the sideline from Coach Smith. Tassione in the shotgun. He's looking left. He's got tripped, but he goes to the right side. Wide open. Tucker Reed. He's in for a touchdown. Polytech. Tucker Reed, 18-yard catch from Vincent Tassione, and they are on the board. Benny, it's 35-6, and stop that clock.
It stops the clock and, more importantly, breaks up a streak. Dover again. Back-to-back shutouts. The last time Polytech scored against Dover, 2014. So
that's pretty impressive.
That's a big score for Polytech and a very impressive end to a streak that has been equally impressive.
So they had trips left, 3 receivers to the left side, and he went to the receiver on the right on the post pattern, and a nice little throw there by Tassione right on the button to Tucker Reed. He gets through 2 defenders into the end zone. The extra point is way good. It's still going. It's still going into the soccer net back there. It counts as 1 point. It's 35-7. 5:48 to go in the third quarter. And Polytech, an impressive drive.
Yeah, an impressive drive for Polytech. They were able, of course, obviously use the passing game, something that Dover not necessarily was been prepared to defend the entire day. Polytech has been able to pass it early and often on Dover's defense, which makes you kind of wonder why they didn't abandon the run maybe earlier against this Dover team that does play the run very well. Of course, we talked about their fast execution from the front line, very explosive front line. It's been able just to basically snuff out the run for Polytech. Okay, now Polytech's the game plan is this. You got to lock your defense up. You got to find a way to stop Javon Peace, because now you've proved that you can get into this game. You can score points offensively against the Senators. Take that next step now. Stop Javon Peace, and you'll be able to get the ball back.
Well, you mentioned Peace, and he's back there, number 1. He's on the 20-yard line. So if I'm Polytech, you're Tucker Reed, I'm kicking it somewhere else. Well, we'll see what happens. He's the left footer, Tucker Reed, doing a little. That's a squib kick through the front line. It is a live ball picked up by Dover, number 25. Delonzo Boges picks it up, and he is down at the 33, and that's where Dover will take over. 5:44 to go, third quarter.
And, Mike, I think that's a great decision. Again, I always like to say this. Some lessons are just not worth learning, and stopping Javon Peace on kickoffs, a lesson yet you've kind of learned now. It's not gonna. It's easier said than done. All right. So you do the squib kick. You can pin them all the way back. I mean, look, they're at the 30-yard line. A game of field position. If you can stop them here, you're gonna get the ball close to your 35, 40-yard line. You can get another good drive going.
I'm guessing that if they'd kicked the Peace, he would have been at least at the 33-yard line. So this is probably a positive for Polytech. Yeah. He was at the 20, and you give him a few yards to get ahead of steam, and you may not stop him. There's a fake to Peace and the pass to number 3, Eden Davis, and he is laid out by the Polytech defender trying to get the number on that truck. And that was number 8, I believe, Christopher Gordon, who made the tackle.
Gordon broke out the Rhino Gore on that one. A big spine buster on the Dover offensive player. That was an impressive tackle.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I could give credit to the guy, because that was a great tackle, so I had to follow him until he was visible.
Someone watches their Monday Night Raw.
Hand off by McGee, and that handoff to number 8, Christopher Gordon goes, I'm sorry, number 8 for Dover, Marquise McCove goes nowhere. Number 55 for Polytech, and I got his name right here because I'm that good. Matthew Gordy with the tackle, 5'11", 215. So he's a hefty, stout young man at 5'11", 215.
And this is a case where game flow meets adjustments. Polytech adjusting to the run. They've been able to snuff out those last couple of plays. Now Dover faced a 3rd and long.
Yeah, they need 13 yards, Benny. They're at their own 30. Polytech bringing in blitz. A quick pass out to the right side. That is Peace across the original line of scrimmage. Gains about 5, but it's going to be a 4th and 8. And here comes the punt team. Great job by Polytech. Again, stopping the Dover offense. And they're going to get the ball, and it should be a pretty good field position.
That was a monumental stop for Polytech. They needed that stop so badly. Now they get a chance to get the ball back, potentially in good field position. We've seen this Dover punter struggling a bit this game so far. Had the bad punt early, got a favorable bounce, but we'll see this next time. Maybe luck's not necessarily on their side, and they can set Polytech up in good field position.
You never know which way that football is going to bounce, and there it is, a low line drive. It's going to take a Dover bounce across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line of Polytech, and that is where the Panthers will go to work, down 35-7. They got a big hill to climb, but it's not over yet. They moved down quickly last time, were able to score. It made it look easy. Well, I'm sure it wasn't easy, but they made it look easy, and if you get another one here, maybe you start dreaming a little bit.
I think they found a soft spot in the secondary for Dover. So Polytech, go back to work, try to expose that soft spot, and you can find yourself 6 more points and getting closer to try and clawing away and finding a way to get back into this game. Nothing's never out of reach. After the Houston Oilers did what they did way back when, or the Buffalo Bills did what they did way back when with the Houston Oilers, nothing is ever over. But for Polytech, they have a lot to overcome here in the second half.
I watched that game with a whole bunch of Buffalo Bills fans. There's a false start by or an illegal motion by Polytech. That's going to push him back.
Not motion
5 yards. You know, Benny, I went to school in Western New York. All Bills fans up there.
Yep.
And they played that game. Houston and Buffalo was on a Sunday, and St. Bonaventure, my alma mater, was playing basketball at St. Joe's that day. We had a big reception up at St. Joe's, and we watched that Bills game, and that's where I watched that game before the Bonnies and the Hawks. And there were a lot of Bonnies and Bills fans in attendance that day. And the quarterback today for the Bills, Eagles offensive coordinator, Frank Reich.
Yep.
Shotgun to Tassione. He fakes left. He's going right looking for Tucker Reed. He's got him open. It is intercepted, however. Intercepted by Dover. That is, come on, Coach, let me see him. I still can't get that number. Number 24, Jalen Hill with a nice interception. Reed was open. The ball is just over his head, and Jalen Hill is there to pull it down and end that threat on first down.
Well, Polytech had to take a shot there. I mean, you're down by a lot. Not a lot of time left in the game, let alone the quarter. I mean, only not a lot of time left in the quarter, not a lot of time left in the game overall to come back from what they're coming back from. But that effectively is a punt. You put Dover back to where essentially they were on the previous drive. Send your defense out there. Your defense looks like it's got some kind of rhythm going.
Peace takes the handoff. He's running right through the right side. Bumps into a few men. Shakes loose, but he goes down around the 46-yard line. Gain of 8 for Javon Peace. Make it 2nd and 2. That's what I said. 2nd and 2.
And I think Polytech, again, you just have to pack the line of scrimmage but spread it out because we know Javon Peace can run to the outsides. You don't want to put too many guys up around the guard and center. You want to kind of put them towards the tight end, the tackle, and be able to stop Javon Peace that way. Getting him to run between the guard and center has not hurt the Panthers so far. It's when he bounces it out. He uses that speed.
McGee hands off to number 20. Quayleek Bumbry, the freshman, gets the first down and more. He is across midfield down to the Polytech 44. So a nice run there by Bumbry to move the chains. That's a name we haven't called yet tonight.
Bumbry.
I'm going to say Quayleek. I'm going to go with that.
That's Quayleek.
Quayleek Bumbry, freshman for the Senators. Pretty hefty roster here for Dover.
Well, like I said, this is big brother versus little brother. Polytech, as Zion Downing said, not necessarily known for football in Polytech. They have a chance to change that this year. Dover, of course, they're the powerhouse, despite the record.
There's a screen pass to Eden Davis down the left side. Bounces off some tackles, but they make him pay. He does pick up 5 or 6 on that play. Eden Davis was pretty much done, and all of a sudden popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they teach you to tackle around the mid area, and a lot of arm tackles there, a lot of high arm tackles, reaching for the shoulder. Not exactly how you wrap up, and an impressive job by the Dover player to bounce it out there.
So Eden Davis has a touchdown pass tonight, and
he does.
Yes, he threw the pass to Gabriel Evans, the last touchdown. This is Peace around the right side, trying to escape. I believe that was A.J. Foster chasing him, and there's a late flag as he goes out of bounds. We'll see if there's some kind of unsportsmanlike on this, but I believe he picked up the first down.
I don't necessarily
on that 2nd and 4. We'll see what the call is. It's way on the other side of the field, so it's tough for us to catch that one.
I think it might be unsportsmanlike.
It was definitely after the play. We'll see what the call is. It is unsportsmanlike on Polytech, and they're going to tack on 15 more yards for the Senators.
Again, Polytech, you were so close. You had a chance to get back into the game. Do not devolve. Do not break down mentally. You're still, plenty of time to make some stuff up here, plenty of time to rally back because you have the rest of the season to play out. This is a tough Dover team, as I've been saying. There's no shame in losing to Dover, especially because they are fully healthy now. They have McGee back. He is, arguably one of the most talented quarterbacks in the state. There is no shame in this game. Polytech, pick your heads up, play the rest of this game. You have a chance to win next week.
That will move the ball down to the Panthers 19, 1:22 to go in the third quarter. Dover in blue going right to left on your tablet, computer, TV, monitor, phone, whatever you're watching on. Thanks for joining us tonight on 302 Sports. And that is a gain of about 2 for Dover. And we have thought they were going to call a timeout. We just have some personnel changes. Javon Peace taking a well-deserved break on this one. There he is, number 1, right in front of us. Looks like he could use a drink here. Oh, he's got shaking his fingers a little bit. Maybe he's got hit. So McGee with a full backfield this time, hands to number 32.
Oh,
that is David Exum.
Took a shot towards the end of that.
Around the right side, and one of the Polytech players is down. And we have a timeout on the field. 31 seconds to go, and Exum picks up about 3 on that one. Make it 3rd and 8 at the 17. So 2 yards picked up on that play. So we mentioned tomorrow Cape Henlopen at Sussex Tech, the 302 Sports Weekly on Wednesday nights. What's that? I bet Sussex Central, of course, Cape at Sussex Central. So if you go to Sussex Tech and they're not there, you can blame me. My cell phone number is 302, and then 7 more numbers after that. Call Benny Pinella. He's got my number. And so it's Cape at Sussex Central. And then, of course, Wednesday nights, we have a timeout on the field. Wednesday nights, it's the 302 Sports Weekly live at Hooters of Newark. As usual, Gary and Nick McCulley, thank you so much for welcoming us in there every week. And we've had a blast. Yeah, and I got to get back there, but my work schedule is not worked out. But once this fall season's over, I should be making my way back down the Kirkwood Highway. Usually when I go down there, I'm turning into the library across the street.
No, you're turning the other way.
No, I'm really not. I've been to the Y across the street.
Great Y.
It is a nice looking Y. Here's the handoff to Peace. He's back in. He's got some room on the left side.
Ball game.
Gets a nice block out there and touchdown. 18 yards, Javon Peace. And that is touchdown number 5 for Dover's Javon Peace. 41-7, 15 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And he got started on the left side, picked up a block downfield. And when he got down there was nothing but green spaces in front of him. And
I said it during the play. I'll
touchdown
say it
number
now.
5.
That is ball game. Javon Peace, unreal. He's been absolutely unbelievable this game, having an epic performance, and that just caps it right there. Dover, it's going to be really hard to find a way to lose this lead.
So Dover turns that turnover into 7 points, 42-7. 15 seconds ago, and that maybe the last play of the 3rd quarter if they can to start that clock up again, but not that I'm in a hurry. And there goes the clock, 12-11. So we're going to have the kickoff to start the 4th quarter on the 302sports.com. We'll be back for the 4th quarter right after this.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroupre.com. And began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today.
And we are back at Dover High School in Dover, Delaware for 12 more minutes of the Spotlight Game of the Week. 42 for Dover, 7 for Polytech. Mike Lang, Benny Pinella, Jason Winchell, Len Evans, and you. Glad you're joining us this week for the Spotlight Game. It's been pretty much all Dover. Polytech's had some bright spots, but for the most part it's been the Javon Peace show. Picked up there after the fumble, and he's broken it. I can't see who that is, but almost breaks it for a touchdown. That is Tucker Reed. He's done a little of everything tonight for Polytech. One more tackle, and he was gone.
Oh, that was an exceptional return for Reed, and a play that kind of summarizes Polytech's day. I mean, they've been close on a lot of plays. It's like they've just been 1 inch or 1 tackle or 1 something away from being able to break a big play open right there. And just one more tackle being broken from being able to make it 42-14 and stop that running clock. But right now, Polytech are behind the 8 ball.
Reed was able to get to the 47. Tassione looking for Raleigh, too high, and it's 2nd and 10. Yeah, it looked like the Dover player didn't quite catch the number, just bumped into him and was able to trip him up just enough where he was couldn't keep his balance or he was gone. It was the last guy between him and the end zone. 2nd and 10. I'm sorry, Benny.
Polytech's been taking a lot of shots on offensively down the line, which is, again, what you got to do when you're down by the score they are, 35 points. But they're getting away from being able to open up that defense a little bit.
Tassione looking right side this time, and he's got it complete to, I believe that is Tucker Reed. First down. It's about 12 on that one.
See, that's the kind of plays that Polytech has to be looking for. Out routes, trying to, I know the clock's running, but if they were able to, shore up the lead a little bit and get another score, that's the kind of play they have to look for. Those out routes to get the first down and get out of bounds as quick as possible.
Now, there's some kind of discussion on the field. Clock is running.
They've stopped
Might
it
be
now.
an equipment violation. Has stopped at 10:09. I don't know if there's an equipment violation. Number 50 from Dover has been escorted. Number 60 from Dover escorted off the field. Darnell Kelly Kreider. We're not sure what's going on. I don't want to cast aspersions on the young man.
No,
at all. It could be something as simple as an equipment, something coming loose or broken. I don't see any flags, so there was a penalty at the end of that one.
Big
so we'll
one
see
too.
what
What
That's
happened
15 yards, obviously, down to the. It's a personal foul on Dover. Don't know what the call was, but it takes Polytech down to the 25-yard line at Dover, and very quickly the Panthers are in business in Dover's end of the field.
And you see Tassione trying to get the team set up at the line because they have a chance now.
And he is back looking deep. Pumps, goes into the end zone. Oh, that's a hold in the end zone. And is caught for an interception.
But that
interception in the end zone by Dover, and it's going to come back out to the 20. Benny, honestly, I thought it was a holding penalty on Dover in the end zone.
I thought that was pass interference.
I was waiting for the flag, but it was intercepted.
I think that was a case of the refs not being able to adjust and look quick enough towards the play. But now that was a hold on Dover. That was a blatant penalty on the Senators there. They got away with one right there.
I kept waiting for the flag to come out, and the referee blew his whistle and was doing this with the hands, and I thought maybe he caught for a touchdown initially, but well, we had a pretty good angle from up here, so I think he missed a call. That happens. I've missed calls. It happens to all of us.
And we're all human, but I can tell you Polytech would have really liked to have that call. One last gasp for momentum, stop the clock, get a score, and their defense could rally behind it.
So Dover, with 9 minutes and running, is at their own 20. And in no hurry to get this play off. The back judge, here's this referee indicating the 5 seconds left. Now McGee's throwing deep, and there is some contact out there, but no flag, and that's just an incomplete pass.
The contact initiated by the wide receiver on that one. Listen, the defensive back's behind him. You can tell the defensive back was pulling off because he saw the ball was overthrown. The wide receiver bumps the defensive back and falls down. That's not pass interference on either side. That's just bad luck, I guess, by the wide receiver. Needs to know where he is on the field.
And Benny, we're going to have a chilly walk back to our cars. It's a little nippy out there.
The sun's gone down. This is what the fall is all about.
I have not turned the heat on in my house yet, and I was hoping to maybe last into November.
See, I broke out the space heater.
Yeah, that'll work. I opened one of the windows in my living room last night. I got a little warm in there.
As my brother knows, my brother's watching. Benny's not a cold weather guy.
No, me neither. Here's a handoff for Dover to number 20. That's Quayleigh Bumbry, and he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 1 on the play. Make it 3rd and 11. Say hello to that Vinny Pinella up there in Brandywine 100.
An unofficial member of 302,
yeah. Vinny, you keep pushing. Someday you can. No, you can't. No, I'm just kidding, Vinny.
No, he wants to be a carpenter.
Okay. I'll have him build an addition on my house.
There you go. That's
not that far away from you guys. Right there in Claymont, right up the street. And I think we have a
delay of game.
Delay of game or a knock off 5 yards.
Oh, legal. It's a legal substitution on Dover. My apologies.
Alrighty, so 5 yards in either way. It's going to be 3rd and 16. 7:02 to go here. And Dover takes a timeout, so that is where we are, 7:02 in the fourth quarter.
And I know it's late in the game, and I know Dover has the big lead, and it seems like they have this one pretty much wrapped up with 7:02 left. But you can't have penalties like that, because I've seen some crazy things happen in the world of high school football. We all have. We all have seen those games where a team comes back from 4 scores in 5 minutes and does some kind of crazy thing. Polytech is a team like that. Polytech, they're explosive. They can bust out a big play whenever they can. They've kind of proved it today. They've kickoff returns and some big passes down the field. But you can't have mistakes like that if you're Dover. You can't have penalties that give any kind of momentum to the Panthers. You got to be able to, be cerebral. End this game right now, get a big play, get a first down, and run that clock out.
All right, got a couple scores. Final from Appoquinimink. It was Concord 14, Appo 7. So a win for the Raiders. Big win for them. Smyrna 22, Sussex Tech 11. 3:54 to go in the third quarter. And Wilmington Charter 23, Tatnall 12. I'm not sure if that's a final or not. And here is Cooper, Derrico Cooper, and he dances his way out to the 24-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down and 6. A flag has been thrown.
Holding, it's a block in the back on Dover.
Delmar 42, Laurel 0. AI DuPont 64, McCain 6. So a couple scores, 52-0 Milford over Indian River.
Wow.
So we do have some scores coming in.
Milford's been impressive.
Yeah.
Ever since I went over Woodbridge, they've been climbing up the rankings.
And a volleyball score, it should be over by now. Tower Hill was up 2-0 on Caravel and was leading in the third set. That was like 45 minutes ago, so I imagine they are done by now, but you never know. Tower Hill, likely the second seed in the volleyball state tournament. Here's the punt. It's low and kind of side by side, but it takes a Dover bounce down to the Polytech 36, and that is where it will come to its rest. Polytech try to get something going here with 5.5 to go in the fourth quarter.
Maybe if you're Polytech, you got 5 minutes left, you bring in the backups, try to get them some work, because, again, you don't want to admit defeat, but this game's getting out of hand. You could argue it's out of hand right now, being down by 35. And put the backups in. They need to get some experience in this rivalry game, because you know what? Polytech is all about playing for the rest of the season. And, they have a chance to be able to make the first winning record in their history. And, right now it looks like that's not going to happen in this game, but maybe it can happen next week.
Handoff to Donnell
what
Hooker.
An impressive tackle.
And he is wrapped up for a loss. I believe that was 32 for Dover, if I'm not mistaken. David Exum with the tackle.
Exum was being blocked, and with one hand grabbed Hooker and brought him down. What an impressive tackle there for the young man, the young Senator defensive end.
2nd and 10, so we'll call it no gain, no loss on that one. Tassione back in the shotgun, hands off. Could not see who he handed off to. Number 24. Well, they said Jones. I thought it was 24. Jacob Haydick, but I could be wrong.
Right now, Polytech is getting away from the run. Looks like they're just going to try and run this out and get away from the pass, trying to run this out and live for next week. And again, they have a great chance to win next week and try to get that elusive 6th win.
There's another reception. This one by 28, Colin Jakish, and he tackled around the 20 of Polytech. And there's a little wrestling going on down there, and here comes the flag. Benny, I don't want to say this, but Jakish threw his arms in the air like he was going to waltz into the end zone, and I think he upset the Panthers a little bit. Yeah. And when they got down on the ground, they did some tables, ladders, and chairs down there.
Yeah, no, that was.
And that is a personal foul on Polytech. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to excuse it.
No.
But I think that was the origins of it right there.
Yeah, no, listen, for Dover, you're up by 5 scores. There's nothing to gloat about. You're going to win this game. But overall in the season, I mean, Polytech can make the argument, you haven't played your best football, and that's because your team's been injured. There's nothing really to celebrate right now. You're beating Polytech. Take the win and play for next week if you're Dover. For Polytech, again, they're pressing a little bit. They're a little bit angry. You can see the emotion starting to come out for them. Calm it down. Again, your team is going to be okay. Next week, you have a great chance to win. Every week, Polytech has a great chance to win because any team that beats Cape Henlopen can beat just about any team in the state, maybe except for Smyrna and Middletown. But Polytech's in a great spot here for Dover. Again, they just got to calm down. Both these teams have to calm down and finish out the rest of this game.
Dover is at Cape Henlopen next Friday at 7 p.m. So that is this is the last home game for Dover. As mentioned, it's homecoming. Polytech has 2 home games remaining. They have Sussex Tech remaining next week, and they finish the season with Smyrna coming to visit them on November 10th. So next week, Dover will be at Cape, Polytech here. Polytech at home against Sussex Tech, and a couple tough games left for Polytech. But
I'm not going to excuse their schedule. Polytech has a long road to get to those 6 wins. But Sussex Tech is one team that I think Polytech matches up well against. And Smyrna.
Smyrna.
It's Smyrna. You know, we all know the story for Smyrna. But no, Sussex Tech is a team that Polytech can compete against and can beat. This is a tough Dover team. Again, if you're looking at the score right now and you're tuning in just to try and get the score update, make no mistake about it. Dover may be 1-6. They very well could be 3-4, 4-3, and have a different record if all things considering.
And they are winning tonight on merit. They deserve to be winning. They've outplayed Polytech tonight. And here is number 35. We'll get his name in a second. He bounces around the left side, not to the end zone. He gets to the 1 yard, and that is Derek Madison. So Derek Madison gets the carry. He takes it 5 yards around left end. Javon Peace is resting here on the sidelines. We see him there, and he scored 5 times tonight. The other touchdown was a pass from the running back, Eden Davis. And there's a big pile up right in front of the goal line there. Nice stuff by the Panthers on 2nd and goal, and it'll make it 3rd and goal. It says from the 2. We'll call from the 2. Oh, no, it's 3rd and. Well, I don't know. The yardsticks, they can get a first down here. It's 3rd and 2 from the 3. So there's not 3rd and goal. It's 3rd and 2 at the 3.
I've just been so impressed by how Dover's played all day long. They have jumped out, took the momentum. McGee being back in this lineup, I think, has helped them tremendously. And looks like they're a team that can score it well and may finish out the season pretty strong. And their average record these past couple of seasons has been 3-7. 1-6 right now. It's there's nothing short of a long road. They'll be 2-6 after this, but a chance for them to finish out the season strong and corral themselves and play for next year.
So Dover takes a delay on the 3rd and 2. That'll take the ball back to the 7-yard line, make it 3rd and 6. 3rd and 7. Well, it says 3rd and 7 from the 7. I think it's 3rd and 6 from the 7. Peace back in there as they make some changes. Here comes some different personnel for the Senators. They are going to go to 2-6. Polytech will fall to 5-3 inside the final minute. Dover might just take a knee here. And they snap over the head of the backfield and is fallen on by Dover as they recover. As you mentioned, everything going their way tonight.
They've gotten all the bounces. 43
seconds to go, so they may need to run one more play or just take the delay of game, and that's going to end up being the final here tonight. 42-7 Dover over Polytech. And we may be finished there, bringing some players on the field, though. So for Dover, it started on the opening kickoff. Javon Pierce went 94 yards for the touchdown, and I don't think there's any question, Benny.
No.
He is the player of the game.
Javon Pierce has been so exceptional in this game. He is a very, very talented player. Nothing short of spectacular was his game so far. Returning kicks, running the ball very effectively, running it with purpose. I think he came into this game with a big chip on his shoulder. And you saw this Dover team. Peace played well. Their defense played well as well. 3 interceptions, I believe, was the final total. 3 or 4 interceptions is what they got. Very impressive game altogether for Dover. And for Polytech, again, looking across the sidelines, that's a very good Dover program. Things have not bounced their way. It's a tough Cape Henlopen division, but at the end of the day, this is a tough Dover team. 1-6 is not a record that explains what their teams has been going through this season. A lot of injuries. So I think looking back on it, Polytech has nothing. To be ashamed of in this loss.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it here from Dover High School. Once again, the final score: Dover 42, Polytech 7. Keep up to date on all our social media. We'll get you next week's schedule as soon as we can. For Len Evans, Jason Winchell, and Benny Pinella, I'm Mike Lang. Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us, and good night.